Justin from CanadaWhips.com, and this is going to be a tutorial on the Cattleman's crack. The Cattleman's crack looks like this. The Cattleman's crack is performed by swinging the whip up, having the thong of the whip travel over and behind the whip handle, and then bringing the whip back down. This motion creates a loop in the whip, which is what creates the crack. Swing up, the thong goes over. When it's behind, I push down, and as you can see, this forms a loop, and that loop is what travels down to make the whip crack at the end. Step one is to take your whip handle and point it at the ground. You want the whip handle to be pointed straight down, your arm straight, and your arm is going to go out so that it's pointing straight out, and you have a 90-degree angle in your armpit. Next, you want to bend your arm at 90 degrees, so now you have a 90-degree angle under your armpit and a 90-degree angle in your elbow. Make a note of the way the handle is pointing. You want the handle to be pointing at about 1 o'clock in the sky if you're right-handed, or 11 o'clock in the sky if you're left-handed. Your handle is pointing up. It's not pointing too far back, because this is going to make it very difficult for you to get the crack. So again, whip handle's at the ground, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, handle tilted slightly up and back. The next step will be to wait. The waiting is what allows the whip to travel from in front of you to behind you. So if you watch, I go up and I wait. I want the whip to come all the way behind me, and ideally, if the whip is 5 or 6 feet long, I'd like the cracker to touch the ground behind me before I initiate step 3, which is the down phase. So, up, wait. Once you've waited and the whip has fully traveled in front, up, and behind you, and the thong of the whip is behind the handle, you're ready for the third step, which is to go out and down. So, gone up, waited, and now you're going to go straight out, straighten out your arm, and then bring your arm down in one motion. So, pushing down. When your arm is fully extended, some people find that it helps to squeeze the handle or pull the trigger on the crack, and that'll give you a more crisp and clean crack on your way through the downstroke. Altogether, that looks like this. From the front, that looks like this. And from the back, common problems that individuals have while learning the Cattleman's crack involve the whip hitting them either on the way up or on the way down. When I start, I like to have my whip behind me, pointing straight out as if I'm standing in between a train track and the whip is running along the train track. The reason for this is so that I can get a really good upswing, and when I bring the whip up, it's not going to come back and hit me because maybe it's around me this way, or maybe it's behind me in sort of an S shape, which is going to make the whip kind of kick out, and maybe it'll come in and hit you, and you don't want that. So lay it on the train track, bring it up along the train track, bring it down along the train track. If the whip is hitting you on the way down, it means that your wrist is tilted too far in towards your body. And what will happen is, if you bring your whip up with your your wrist tilted in, you can see that the whip wants to travel on the inside and hit my arm. If I tilt my whip out, the whip is going to want to travel on the outside and go past my arm. Like this. So if you're hitting yourself on the downstroke, tilt out. Another common problem is that people will not wait long enough. So they'll bring it up and then down. And you're not going to get the crack because there's no chance of a loop forming. You could also accidentally get a crack that ends up going behind you because you're not waiting long enough and you're pushing forward when the whip is out here. And this is dangerous because the whip can come back and hit you in the ear or in the face. So it's very important to wait until the whip travels up, around, and behind you before you bring the whip back down. Finally, a common problem that people have is they don't form a tight enough loop. What this means is that when you're bringing the whip down, maybe your handle is pointed too far out, and now the whip is going to want to travel sort of in this shape. And this results in a loss of a lot of energy, and that makes the whip not crack. So you want to keep the whip as close to your body as possible without hitting yourself. So from the back, you'll be able to see that my whip pretty much is maybe a few inches away from my elbow. That results in the tightest loop possible, which will cause the whip to crack the loudest and the most efficient. So really try and find the right angle for your handle to point out slightly so that the whip just like very, very slightly passes your arm, and that's going to allow you to get a really nice crack. Finally, here are some variations that you can do with the Cattleman's crack. The first is cracking and turning around again for a second crack. So I crack, sweep, and crack again if the whip doesn't get looped up. So I crack, sweep, crack, second time. And you can do that repeating over and over infinitely if you don't get tired. Another trick that you can do is to swing the whip up and let it fall in between your index finger and your thumb like this so that it's hanging, and then do a swing to throw the whip up and then catch it and crack it. So it goes up and around, swing, throw, catch, crack. You can practice this without letting go of the whip. So I just take it, I pinch it, I do the full swing without letting go, and then crack it. And eventually you'll be able to let go for longer and longer periods of time. Another trick that you can do is called an elbow toss, where you throw the whip up, it wraps your elbow, you grab the whip by the thong, and then throw it up in the air. Those are some variations and tricks on the Cattleman's crack. That's how you do the Cattleman's crack. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you get it soon. Visit CanadaWhips.com for all other whip cracking information.